Daniel Car Fix here, and today what I'm gonna do, I have some brake work to do on my bike. This is my 2004 VTX 1800. This bike is an absolute beast. I love it. Me and my wife, we have a great time riding it. And what I did last time, I replaced the brake pads because I had to take, well, the brake pads were bad. The caliper was seized. It was not operating properly. The brake pads were bad. So I had to remove the caliper, re-lube the guide pins, and plus I stripped the pad pin bolt in there. So I had to remove it. So I had to basically overhaul the whole rear brake pad. But now what I need to do is I need to flush the brake fluid. The brake fluid isn't great. You can see it's not in great shape. Neither is the brake fluid on a clutch, but that's something I'm going to do later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flush the brake fluid, put some new brake fluid in. And the one thing about this bike you should know is the proper way to flush the rear brake is by starting with the front brake. And the reason is this bike has a combined braking system by Honda. And it's mechanical, it's not electronic, and it's very simple. What it has is when you activate the rear brake pedal, it not only activates the rear brake pad, but it also it's connected to one cylinder through this hose over here, as you can see, and it goes down. And the front cylinder, or the center cylinder, and the front brake pads are actually activated by the rear brake. So the proper way to start is you start by bleeding the rear brakes through this bleeder valve. And the top bleeder valve is actually for the front brake pads. So this is for the rear brake pad. So we're going to start with this valve. We're going to bleed both sides, and then we're going to go to the rear brake pad. And these are the tools that we're going to need to bleed the brake. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver for the front brake reservoir. You're going to need a 5mm Allen bit, and this is going to be to get the cover out of the rear brake reservoir. You're going to need an 8mm wrench and a 10mm because on some bleeder valves it's going to be 8, and another one it's going to be 10. You're going to need a bleeder bottle. You can make your own, or you can just buy online. And of course you're going to need brake fluid. For this bike it's .4. Make sure you use a factory recommended brake fluid. So let's get to it. Okay, so first step, what you want to do, I have my bike on a stand, so it's sitting up straight, because you need to really have the container, the brake fluid container here leveled, right? Because we're going to start adding fluid here. And first, what you want to do, before you even remove this, you want to make sure you put some protection around it, because brake fluid is very corrosive. If it falls on the paint, and you want to protect your bike's paint, if it falls on the paint, it's going to corrode the paint. And you want to be wearing gloves and, of course, glasses so it doesn't get in your eye, fall in your eye. So let me go and protect this area, protect my tank, and protect the reservoir. Okay, so let me also get this reservoir cover out of the way. And this is, by the way, this is a 5mm Allen, this cover. And then we're gonna unscrew the cap here, get everything, and we're gonna remove as much old brake fluid as we can. We're going to put it in the bleeder bottle, and then we're going to add new brake fluid, and then we're going to start the bleeding. All right, let's get it done. All right, so what you want to do, let me unscrew the cap here, get this away. Now I'm going to get as much of the old fluid out as possible from the reservoir. Okay. Now I'm going to put my DIY liter bottle back, the cap back on. I'm just going to lay it on the ground here. And I'm going to add some brake fluid in there, top it off, and we're going to be, as we bleed the brake fluid, we're going to be adding more. All right. Okay, so what you want to do right here, if you can see over here, what I want to do is with the bleeder bottle set up, right? And you got the hose going all the way down to the bottom. What you want to do with a 10 millimeter wrench here, you want to open it just a little bit, just so it allows the flow, and you want to pump the brake fluid. Okay? And you close it. And you open, pump, and you close it. You open, pump, and you close it. It's kind of like that. And you have to, okay, I got brake pressure, okay. And you build pressure, then you open it, close it. I'm gonna have to do this a lot because since I replaced, I took the rear brake pad out. There's probably gonna be air in the system. Pump it. Close it. Pump it. Close it. Pump it. Close it. And I can see it's already low, the brake fluid, so you have to add more brake fluid. Top it off. So the same thing. Pump. Close. Okay, so I'm already getting clear fluid here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the other side. I got pressure here. Okay, so it's closed. Let's get the hose out and we're gonna go to the other side. Okay, this side is a little bit trickier because I have to press on the brake to build pressure and then open it here. And okay, build pressure and close. So you pump it a few times and then you open and you close. You pump it, you open it, and then you close. You pump it, you open it, you close. All right, so I'm starting to get good fluid. All right, okay, so this is just one more. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. This is good enough. Let's go to the rear. So same thing here, you build pressure, you open, and you close it, right? Do it slowly. Build pressure, you open, and you close it. You want to make sure that air doesn't get sucked in. So you open and you close it. And you can see there's a lot of air in my system, and that is because, you know, I took the line out, so naturally there's air in a caliper. So I need to get all of that out. So take your time, don't rush. That's it. Now you see, look at the color of the brake fluid. It's not supposed to look like a caramel. It's supposed to be clear fluid. So what I'm gonna do now is you want to get like a turkey, you know, sauce thing, and you want to bleed. You want to actually remove as much as possible. As much as possible. Yep. From inside. Okay. You want to put in new brake fluid. So this one is a dot for brake fluid. That's what Honda recommends. So we're going to just put in, fill it in. Look how transparent it is. So it's transparent. It's not supposed to look like caramel. Okay, so now we're going to start bleeding the front first, and then we're going to go to the back. Okay, now we're ready to bleed the front brakes. I topped off the front brake reservoir, so I'm putting pressure on the brake lever. Yep, now I'm going to close it. Yes, so I go back with the lever. As I'm putting pressure, I open it slightly and I close it. You don't have to open the bleeder valve too much. The less you open, the better, actually, right? Less chance to get air into the system. Look at all that bad brake fluid. Let's check the level. Level is good. Put pressure. Close it. Okay. It's starting to come out clear. This is good enough for me. Okay, so now let's do the other side. Again, pressure on the brake. Close it. Pressure again. Open slightly. Close it. Pressure, slightly open, close it. Okay, this is clear enough. Okay, now that you've bled the front brakes, you just want to make sure that fill up the reservoir until the level, which is that mark over there. So that's level. Now you're ready to come back in with the floater. With this, goes in like that. And now the cover. Yep. I wonder. It's too much. No, this is. Nope. You see, I overfilled it. So I need to get a little bit out. It's just too much. Just gonna get just a little bit out. That's okay. You make corrections as you go. Right? Okay, so this is good now. It's not overfilled. It's not leaking. It was though. Okay, we're done. Now, just make sure you test the bike first. Now that you've bled the brake, make sure that you pump the brake first several times, right? That it's not spongy, so when you need to actually use the brake, it works. Now let's go test the bike. So I put my bike back together, it went out, I tested the brakes, and it's working fine. What you want to do, you want to bed the rear brake pad. And what it means, you have to go from a 40-50 mile per hour and apply the brake moderately until you reach 10 miles per hour. So it starts the bedding process and it doesn't overheat and damages the brake pad. So you want to bed the pads before you go out, and it's still going to take about 100 miles or so for the rotor to match the pad, the new pad anyway. So you want to make sure you take it easy on the first few 100 miles with the brake, and that's it. It's working. I hope this video was useful, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up below. Thank you.